Hi, this is Victor. Welcome back to my channel in season 3. Okay, so this is continuing on the motherboard and PC build for my new computer. Anyway, in the previous episode, we put the CPU onto the motherboard, which was a fairly simple process after reading the manual, just double checking everything and just making sure it's done correctly. The next part is to apply or put on the heatsink, and so right in this episode, I'm just going to do the unboxing of the aftermarket heatsink. So I'm going to pass it to my brother and we'll go from here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as a comparison, this is the heatsink that comes with the Intel CPU chip. It's a fairly simple one. There is the paste already. So basically when you install this, you just put it down and that's it. Okay, so there is the stock heatsink and fan. Now this is the aftermarket unit. It's from Arctic Cooling. It's a Freezer 33CO. Anyway, doesn't mean a whole lot. I just chose one that was in the fairly price range of about $40 or so, and not the lowest one. Anyway, let's open up the package and just take a look at what we have in here. So we're going to open this up. Okay, so that's an empty box. And oops, there's the fan part. Okay, so basically, oops, there is the comparison. As you can see, this heatsink goes on like that because of the bottom, as you can see here, where this heatsink goes like that, and this thing over here, let me just open it up here, is the connection for the fan onto the CPU. So I'm just going to open this up. Okay. As you can see, there is the fan connector to the motherboard. Okay. And we have some wording on here. Warning, please peel off label before using it. Okay. All right. So this is all right, so that can go in here, that can go there. These are mounting brackets, and what we have here is screws. And this is the heatsink paste, thermal compound. Okay, so basically I have to read the instructions, and then in my next episode I'm going to be mounting the heatsink onto the motherboard, and we'll go from there. Okay, and before I can install the CPU cooler onto the CPU and the motherboard, I have to first prep the CPU cooler. Anyway, here are all the pieces, and there's the of course the CPU cooler again compared to the Intel, and all I have to work off is this diagram basically right here and this diagram right over there. Okay, so I'm going to pass the camera to my brother and we'll get started in prepping the CPU cooler. Okay, here you go. Okay, so the first thing to do is, of course, remove this fan right over here, which is just, in this case, it's just a simple matter of lifting and down, and the same thing on this side, lifting and down, and there you go. And of course, this will be installed after the CPU is on the motherboard, because the first part that we have to do is install these over here. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to put this here, put this like this. I'm going to assume it's the small screw, which is this one over here. So install that right there. And there we go, there. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to have this on here, just there. Put this screw over here, put it in there, and basically install that like that. Okay, so there, that's tight. There it is. The other one is tight. Now, according to this diagram over here, we have this over here that goes, see right there, the sturdy mounting system that goes underneath. Okay, so based on the diagram over here, let's see, transport proof mounting with backplate. Okay, well, it doesn't really give you an idea of which way it's going to go. I'm going to assume that it's going to be probably something like this. Or like this. Although I'll have to figure that out. I'm going to take a look at my brother's computer and take a look and see how that was installed there. Okay, so, and then of course I'll have to figure out which one of these, we've got a couple of different sizes here. We've got the very long ones, so it looks like we've got three different size screws. Okay, so we'll figure that out. Okay, so so I'm going to be back with the install in the next episode. All right, so I'm back for one more note, afterthought. I did look at the CPU cooler, and the way it's going to work is this actually goes underneath the motherboard. So I'm going to pass the camera to my brother. So basically what's going to happen is this is going to be underneath the motherboard. Let's assume that this is the motherboard. Okay, so then the CPU cooler goes on like that, and then depending upon the distance, it's going to be one of these screws that are going to go here into and screw down that way. So that's how it's going to be screwed down. That'll keep it tight because it'll be with the motherboard in between. Okay, so then the only thing to figure out is what size screw is the correct size. Okay, all right, so thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I will be back again. All right, bye-bye. No,